All right,
Well, you got green on it.
I will do it.
Yeah.
We'll call this meeting to order. This is the Delaware County Commissioners meeting. It's Monday, December 18th. Time is 9:01. Let's open the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States. And to the
Thank you, Ed. Could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Mr. King. Here. Mr. Reagan.
Present.
Mr. Burke. Here.
Okay, today we have a public hearing on transferring of property to a nonprofit, the Isaiah 117 house.
That's speaker.
You need it up?
Well. You're,
Is it okay?
yeah.
Yes, please.
Hi, my name is Hannah Kaufman, and I'm the expansion coordinator for the Isaiah 117 house. Just a little update on us. We are continuing to build awareness. We have gained a lot of community support with various household necessities being pledged. I did want to remind everyone of the impact of this project. So the Isaiah 117 house being open means that no more placement families will be getting 3 a.m. calls of kids coming in 30 minutes with lice, drug-contaminated clothes, and pest-infested belongings. No more caseworkers working in the driveway of placement family homes because they legally can't accept the offer to sit down and have a cup of coffee. And no more kids being shuffled around the state in the middle of the night, meeting at Walmarts and truck stops with nothing but shattered hearts. Thank you.
Any questions?
I don't know.
John, do you have anything on this?
This is a public hearing for the transfer that's property located at the southwest corner of Cornbread and Tillotson County, property that's owned by the county, about a little over 4 acres. That's near the Justice Center. And so the purpose is for the commissioners to consider giving the property to Isaiah House. They meet all the requirements. They have provided me all the information and documentation, the application. So it's up to the commissioners to decide, but this is the public hearing for people to speak for and against it. So I presume the executive director's comments were for it, so.
Is there anyone else here to speak about the Isaiah house, either for or against? Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All right, next,
Well, you should have a vote on the, closing the public hearing.
oh, I'm sorry. We have a motion and a second to close the hearing. Roll call, please.
Mr. King. Yes. Mr. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Okay, next under appointments, I'd like to go ahead and appoint the new, president of the commissioners and the vice president. So come January 2nd, that individual can come up and just, start the meeting.
I'll nominate Commissioner King since he's vice president. Move him up.
I'll second it. Do we want to make a motion to close nominations?
Yeah.
So moved.
Second.
So a motion to close the nominations in a second. Congratulations, Commissioner King.
We have a vote on it for January.
Well, there's no other nomination, but we'll vote.
Mr. King. Yes. Mr. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Nomination,
Motion that we nominate, Sherry Reagan as vice president
and I'll second that.
for 2024.
I'll accept.
Motion to close nominations.
So moved.
I'll second it. Roll call, please.
Mr. King. Yes. Mr. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Got that out of the way.
Yep.
That means the telephone calls still come to you.
No,
Yeah,
no.
January 1st.
Okay.
We should point out that, being president is, an honor, and there's no extra pay, but they do get more telephone calls than the others.
That's a fact, yes. The approval of the minutes, Commissioner meeting December 4th, 2023, I would like to, table those. We need to review those a little further.
Yeah, so moved.
Second.
We have a motion to table the minutes and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King? Yes. Ms. Reagan?
Yes.
Mr. Henry?
Yes. Next, we have, presentations to the commissioners, Purdue Extension, Delaware County.
Good morning. I'm Justin Curley. I am your County Extension Director and your Agriculture and Natural Resources Extension Educator. Got to thinking that we should probably report in and kind of give you guys updates on what's going on in our office a little bit more often, so that's why we're here. A few things. We did want to invite you to our annual meeting will be February 20th. I have an invitation here for you. But February 20th at 6 p.m. at the First Church of the Nazarene. If you're available, that would be a great chance to come out and see the work that we do that evening. Is kind of built around telling the story of our year programming in the community. Our 4-H educator, Kylie, can't be with us today. She's on vacation somewhere sunny, and I'm jealous. But she's been with us now since right before the county fair started. She's done a fantastic job of outreach and getting out in the community. She's been in touch with all of the schools in the county, making recruitment efforts, going to the fairs and the open houses and things like that, really trying to get the name out there for 4-H and grow our numbers, and she's already off to a really good start. As for myself, I do have a handout here. And if the public is interested, we have a Master Gardener basic training coming up starting in January, which will run for 14 weeks. So if you are interested, no, it's a commitment. But I think Sherry can vouch for what a good program that is. And that program not only teaches people about gardening, but then it further employs them to be volunteers in the community. And they do work going into the schools and education on behalf of Extension and the Master Gardener Association. With that, I guess I would turn it over to my coworker Amanda. She is our Health and Human Sciences Extension Educator.
Thank you. So again, just kind of sharing some of the things that are coming out of our office. We've got a lot of programming happening. So we were recently awarded a grant, and we are offering safe sleep training, where a lot of our community partners right now towards the end of the fiscal year have run out of funds for pack and plays and safe sleep training. So we have enough to cover 50 at minimum safe sleep trainings throughout the year. We also have our Safe at Home class, which is for 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, just to kind of mitigate some of the issues around childcare. So this gives them some basic life skills to stay at home safely, hopefully not babysitting, but we know the reality of the situation is that most of them are watching younger siblings. So giving them some indoor, outdoor, cyber, and personal safety life skills that they can take into their home lives. And that is being offered, again, free with some grant funding that these children don't have to pay for that. And we're actually doing that through Muncie Community Schools Aftercare Program. So all children that are enrolled in Muncie Community Schools Aftercare Program are getting the opportunity to take that class with their parent permission. One of the last things that we wanted to highlight, and I have a flyer as well that I'll have Justin give you, is our Matter of Balance class. This is also being grant funded right now through a partnership with Lifestream. So anyone over the age of 55 is encouraged to take Matter of Balance. It's a fall prevention class. It's one of the top ranked prevention programs for falling. And we actually are offering this for the 3rd time in Delaware County, and it's completely full. We're doing 2 sessions, a morning session at the Delaware County Senior Center. And then we also have partnered with the YMCA of Muncie, and they will be hosting us as well. Again, that's a 7-week, 2-hour course for all of our seniors to take. It teaches them hopefully fall prevention, but then in the event of a fall, how to recover more quickly and hopefully less time spent in nursing homes and hospitals. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Yes, Justin, before you leave, what's the, date and time for the, sign up for the 4-H? It's soon, isn't it, January something?
So January 15th is the, we call it the deadline, but it's kind of a soft deadline. For those people who know that they're getting signed up, we strongly encourage them to get signed up by January 15th because all of our communication takes place through the databases that we maintain with those registrations. That being said, anyone who is interested in 4-H, finds out about 4-H after January 15th, we're going to accept enrollments, you know, right into the summer. So
Helps you order your supplies and get.
yeah, it just makes facilitating everything a little bit easier and communication, because 4-H goes year round. It's not just at the fair. So, our ability to communicate with the families throughout the course of the year shows them a lot of opportunities that they might not see if, they weren't in our system by
And
January 15th.
this might be a good time to, put a shout out about volunteers, how you need people to be.
Absolutely. So we always are in need of more quality volunteers for the 4-H program. And you might not think that you have the skills or the tools that you might need, but we have 4-H projects and programs that cover everything you can imagine. So if you have a skill set, whether it's crafts or, you know, woodworking, or you're a mechanic, a welder, literally there's no limit to the things that we can use to teach kids. So whatever your trade is, whatever your craft is, it is something that you could impart on our youth and help out. So yes, sure, I appreciate that. It's a really rewarding opportunity. Working with the kids, you really get the chance to feel fulfilled at the end of the day. So yeah, that would be wonderful.
Thanks for your report today.
Yeah, thank you for having us. I see that contractual services is up next. Do you have any questions or anything from me on that while I am here, or no?
Was that the same, amount as last year?
Figure has gone up 4%. That figure, like you're aware, comes from campus. I don't really have any control over that.
Okay.
We did go through budget hearings with the county. The county did approve that increase. So, but it's up 4%.
Council approved that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you said council.
Council did approve it, yes.
I've reviewed the contract and it's all in order. It's just basically the same terms as other years.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
I appreciate that.
thank you. I'd entertain a motion, to approve the contractual service agreement with Purdue.
So moved.
Second.
A motion to approve the agreement in a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King? Yes. Ms. Reagan?
Yes.
Ms. Henry?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have, the food safety inspector, contract with Jamie Ban.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jamie Band, apparently, Health Department Administrator.
I had to do it, sorry.
Typo.
Yeah.
You guys should have a copy of the food inspector contract. As you may recall, we had a contract with the food inspector this past year to assist us with getting inspections done evenings and weekends. This is a gentleman that is a full-time employee at the Madison County Health Department as a food inspector. He has been a great addition to the team. It's helped us accomplish something we've wanted to do for years, which is getting evening and then weekend inspections done.
Yeah.
The
Surprise, surprise, that way.
Yeah, exactly. Calculating it out, the pay rate is gonna be better than bringing in an additional full-time. Now, we do have additional full-time coming under the Health First Indiana money, but, this helps us make an impact into that program without adding a full-time person to do so.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
I've looked at this contract and it seems to be in order.
Terry?
Sherry, what else? Yeah.
Well, just aren't they supposed to do a posting somewhere? Did they, it used to be on the front door, but now maybe,
You talking about the food establishments?
Yeah, when they.
Yeah, we
are
have a
inspected.
county ordinance that requires they post their latest inspection for public viewing, so it doesn't specify the exact location,
Maybe
just
by the
somewhere that the
register or
public can read it.
someplace that,
And, it's been a few months ago, but I've updated our staff that we need to start making sure that's being enforced. For years, it was being enforced. I think got a little, lazy with it. I've been into a number of establishments where I've seen their inspection report from like 2 years ago posted because it has no violations. So we wanna, when they're in, we're making sure that they have that latest one posted.
oh,
But
thank
that's a
you.
good point for the public to know. They can have a look at those anytime.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King? Yes. Ms. Reagan?
Yes,
Mr. Henry?
Yes. All right, local roads and bridges, Angie?
Morning, Commissioners. We were successful. We were awarded $332,542 towards the paving project on County Road 350 North. I just need your approval for the boilerplate template that you're familiar with. Just need your approval.
Make a motion to approve.
second,
We have a motion to approve this agreement and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King? Yes. Ms. Reagan?
yes.
Mr. Henry?
Yes.
I do have a question about that, though. That's, not quite a mile of road, maybe
We
just,
were awarded, between 67 and 400 east, but we are gonna advertise to go all the way to 500 east.
oh, good.
But the community crossing is only gonna cover between 67 and 400.
And for some people that don't know, that's DeSoto roads where all the heavy truck is. So are they kind of building the road up a little bit or widening it?
Tommy, I don't know if you, I don't have my specs in front of me.
Yeah, they're not actually,
Just an overlay, I believe.
Uh,
Wedge and level, I mean, get the low spots out. That's
Yeah.
a good question for Troy.
The road is already pretty robust
Yeah.
up to the gravel
And
pit.
the
They
culvert's
rebuilt that
been
road
replaced.
several years ago.
Had the culvert been replaced?
Tommy will evaluate the road before we pay, just to
Okay,
make sure.
good, thanks.
It looks like it's in pretty good shape, just cracked up.
Yeah,
Well, it just seemed like a lot of money to
Wait.
me.
everything.
Well, I know, but I was just amazed.
All the prices went up.
I know.
But, we were fortunate, we were awarded almost $1 million this past year, so we got everything we asked for, so.
Thanks.
Thank you, NDOT.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for working on all that, Angie.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, next we have the, Catalyst agreement, John?
Yes, this is, an agreement with Catalyst Consulting to assist the, Delaware County with issues down in the legislature. Last year was the first year, and they were very instrumental in helping, the county get involved in a grant program with the state to fund help fund, possibility of funding some construction costs for the mental health facility. Catalyst worked with the sponsors on the, in the House and in the Senate to put that together. Also, they worked with the state on the opioid money and trying to get a better share for the counties. And so this is a continuation of this. There's still some money left in that grant that was budgeted $10 million. And so the county would like to get involved in that.
Make a motion to approve.
Second,
A motion to approve this agreement and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King? Yes. Ms. Reagan?
yes.
Mr. Henry?
Yes. Next, we have, the 2024 legal services agreement. John, this is your agreement?
This is my agreement for services for the, for both litigation and other projects, as well as drafting ordinance resolutions and whatnot. I appreciate the opportunity to continue to work with the commissioners. I've enjoyed my time, and we've accomplished a lot, and we've got some more we need to do. This mental health facility is, gonna be a big project that we have, because now that the plans are pretty well done, so.
What's your pleasure?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
A motion to approve the agreement with, the county attorney and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King? Yes. Ms. Reagan?
yes.
Ms. Henry?
Yes. Thank you, John. Next, we have, Pam McCammon.
Pam McCammon, Director of Human Resources.
once again, every year we have this, and I think I've sent this out to all of you to review, and to John, that we need, signatures on this, on our stop loss, on our insurance.
The stop loss insurance is part of the health insurance. It helps the county manage the healthcare costs since we're primarily self-insured, but we have a stop loss at $200,000. So, this is basically an overinsurance, for those things, and it's the same organization as before, and I think the cost is not that significantly increased, so it's $35,722. That's the first month estimated premium, so.
What's
Okay,
your
we'll make a
pleasure?
motion to approve.
Second,
We have a motion to approve the, stop loss insurance agreement, and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Reagan,
yes,
Mr. Henry.
Yes. And we have True RX.
Yes, this is the same, this is where we get our drugs. And so it's once a year, every,
Prescriptions.
yes, prescription, well, yeah, the drugs. Prescriptions are RX. I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve the prescriptions.
second,
We have a motion to approve this agreement, and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Reagan,
yes,
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have a resolution for approval, a resolution of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners regarding approval expansion of Park One Economic Development Area and the new Bravini allocation area.
Make a motion to approve.
I'd like to, how many acres more is it, or?
Brad, you want to
Yeah,
speak a little bit
sure.
about this?
Commissioner Reagan, County Commissioners, good morning. Brad Bookout, representing Delaware County Redevelopment Commission with this ordinance, or with this resolution. Sherry, this, is incorporating the, new SRM concrete facility adjacent to the rail spur into that tax increment financing district.
That's always been on the outside.
It's always been on the
That
outside.
rail
That is
spur.
correct, yes. So
I
with the
never
new
knew
improvements
that.
that they're making, this helps, pay for the second entrance into Park One,
Yeah,
relating to the truck traffic that they will have in and out of that area, so, yeah.
and that, is that gonna go in this summer?
They're working on, yes, the SRM is starting work on their facility now, and the intention is for the second entrance into Park One to be a summer 2024 project.
Oh. Thank you.
James, you already made a motion to approve.
I'll second,
We have a motion to approve and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Reagan,
yes,
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad.
Commissioners, I, thought I'd sent a resolution to Sarah on Friday, maybe I didn't. It's the resolution which approves the transfer of property to Isaiah House. As a result of the public hearing, you then have to make a formal resolution. I prepared it, I thought I'd sent it to Sarah, maybe I didn't. I was gone for several days.
Last night.
What is the number?
Should be 39
Denise?
or 29. I think.
Yeah, do 29.
And if, I will get that to all of you, but it's a basic resolution that transfers the real estate there at southwest corner of Cornbread and Tillotson to Isaiah House formally. And then we'll prepare the deed to go along with that.
That'll be resolution 2023-029.
Motion to approve.
second,
A motion to approve, land to Isaiah House, and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Mr. Reagan,
yes,
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
And Sarah, once it gets done, can she just stamp it with your signatures?
Yes. All right, next we have, department head and elected official.
The first thing that we have on this is a report from the Plan Commission on the resolution 2023-07A. This was amendment to the text of the comprehensive zoning ordinance regarding solar energy. As you recall, the commissioners made an amendment to the solar ordinance under the zoning ordinance and sent that issue, which dealt with the number of acres that were available for a solar farm, That was sent to the planning commission, that was their sole issue, they approved it. And so this becomes part of the amendment, or part of the ordinance now, is that amendment you guys authored. When they approved it, it automatically became a part of it. So just want to let you guys know that what was going on.
And that completes the entire adoption of that, those amendments to that ordinance, correct?
Correct, it does. That ordinance is now in place.
Thank you. Any other?
Chuck,
Chuck?
Chuck Zimmers, Director for the Delaware County High-Tech Crimes Unit, has some documents for you, Commissioner.
John,
Yes.
before he speaks, do you wanna tell how this law, or we just passed, or we didn't vote on?
oh, you mean the solar ordinance?
Yes, explain that.
Okay.
Just a
What
minute.
happens is, the commissioners approved the solar ordinance that was presented to the planning commission as part of that whole process with an amendment. And that amendment went back to the planning commission to amend that part of the ordinance. Once the planning commission approved it, then that finally approves the ordinance, and the ordinance becomes effective. And I think there's Brandy, I think there's a publication you guys have to do, or maybe, yeah, I think there is. And then it becomes official 10 days after that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Chuck.
Sorry to interrupt.
You're fine, man. Here to give you guys an update on the expansion and the HTCU in general, and then presented you with, some bids, and then a portion of the planned expansion. The HTCU in 2023 so far, we've dealt with 216 cases. That's up from 77 last year. We've received 431 devices in. Last year we had 131, so that's almost quadrupled, and the year's not over. So, we're gonna be needing that space. So far on the expansion, we've completed the demo for phase one. That space is cleaned out. We have all our permits, and we have, the architectural renderings. Everything up to this point has been paid for. We do have two estimates that I've given you.
I've not seen them.
Over here in front.
One estimate is going to be for the materials, and the second estimate is for the actual building of building out of the new space. What I'd like to ask from the commissioners is, funds to cover the building materials. And if you want to fund anything else, that would be great too, but, I am seeking other sources of outside funding, and that will be forthcoming in the beginning of 2024. But I am optimistic we can get in there by hopefully the middle of May. The contractor doesn't see any issue once he has the materials and is paid for the work. He thinks he can get it built out in 3 to 4 weeks. So it'll move pretty quick once
John,
everything's in place.
the building fund, we have an ARP. We can use it, can't we, for this?
You could use it for the money that was put into the revenue replacement. It would have to be appropriated by the council to
Okay.
do that.
Okay,
So that could be done until January.
okay.
I think with our, Ed, we're still kind of waiting to see. There's some problems with the ARP account that, Baker Tilly and Ed's office is working on. So I think before we make any commitments, I think we need to wait until that
Okay.
issue's resolved.
How soon do you think it might be resolved?
Our plan is January.
Middle, January? Okay, thank you.
You wanna come back in January?
I'd love to.
Yeah, thank you.
Let me know.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you. Any other department heads or elected officials?
Pam McCammon, Director of Human Resources. I just wanted to let the commissioners know that we lived through open enrollment. Open enrollment closed last week. And out of 630 some employees, we only could not contact 40. So it was a big success. And that's, Jenna Lee and myself, we worked nonstop for 2 weeks, so, but it was a success, and I just wanted people to know that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Eric Stroud, Inspector of Weights and Measures. I just wanted to step up here, and I know Commissioner Henry got recognition of, one of my employee, went down to the state this last week, and I just want to give her honor that
Yes.
she passed the inspection to become an inspector by the state, to be able to go out and do testing and certifications by herself, so.
She's
I want to give her honors,
she's a-
Cheryl Doherty.
back
here hiding behind the
Yeah, she's hiding, so
She's official.
I just wanted to give her honor, so.
Stand up so everybody can see you, please. You gotta stand up. Be recognized. I didn't realize she didn't like attention, so we'll have to start doing that once in a while now.
Yeah.
Good job, Eric. Any other department heads or elected officials? Okay, we'll move on to, payment of claims of $2,950,573.22.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion to pay the claims in a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. King. Yes. Mr. Reagan.
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. All right, next we'll go to public comment. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes. We'll start out with Cheryl Swingley.
Well, I'm here about solar again. I'm pleased that Delaware County has a solar ordinance, and we have a chance to build on the legacy of the Ball brothers that this family has left us. And what would Muncie be without the Ball brothers? No Ball Hospital, no Ball State, no Minnetrista Museum and Gardens, no public television, no public radio, no Owsley Art Museum, no Muncie Airport, no Ball foundations that keep aspects of Muncie afloat today, such as the Y and the Muncie Community Schools. But none of the above contribute to the property tax base because they are nonprofits. It's industry that supports our property tax base. We started losing our property tax paying factories with the closure of the only remaining ball canning factory in Muncie 61 years ago. Then we lost Ball Corporation's international headquarters to Colorado in 1998. We lost New Venture Gear in 2006. We lost Borg Warner in 2009. It's not like any of these national and international companies are out of business. They just left Muncie and Delaware County. I might note that Reagan Dairy was sold to Best Ever in 1992. Now we have a new industry interested in doing business in Delaware County. A solar company who expressed its interest in Delaware County more than 2 years ago. This solar deal is so close, yet so far away. And what makes it so far away is the 500-foot setback that is in our solar ordinance. If we keep the 500-foot solar setback, can we expect to see much as a quarter of our property tax base being supported by renewable energy in the future? No. If we keep the 500-foot setback, will we have an economic development agreement that could be used to resolve a number of problems in our county? No. If we keep the 500-foot setback, do farmers have property rights, the right to make money, and the right to retire in Delaware County? No. If we keep the 500-foot setback, will we meet the state's requirements for our own county to be solar ready and have the opportunity for future funding that might be available through the state and/or federal governments? No. Right now, I want to see courage from my county commissioners to move forward with the building of solar facilities in my home county. Delaware County is not open for business with a 500-foot setback in its solar ordinance. If we have any chance of moving Delaware County forward, competing with surrounding counties, and being part of a statewide effort to develop renewable energies, please put an amendment on the agenda for your January 2 meeting that will meet the state's recommended setback and correct the fatal component in our solar ordinance.
Next is Sue Arrington.
Thank you. Sue Arrington, 3200 Westbrook Drive. I too want to thank you for finally enacting a solar ordinance for our county. But I think I would echo a lot of what, Cheryl Swingley has said about the ordinance needing some refinement. As a legislator, I know that we passed things that we thought were just right, and then found later that they needed to be amended. And I think this is one of those cases where an amendment is in order for the setback from adjoining properties. When Invenergy was negotiating a couple of years ago with the county and with the farmers, they didn't know you were going to end up with a 500-foot setback. And I think any newer company that's considering coming into our area that will be a real chilling effect in their interest in Delaware County. Not only are solar companies in competition with each other to establish facilities in desirable places, but the counties are in competition with each other. And our competition has to do with what our ordinance said. So I encourage you to not just consider this over and done, but to continue to review what's happening. Are solar companies coming to you and expressing interest in other properties? Or has this put a chilling effect, which I believe it will, when you consider what other counties surrounding us are offering? So I too urge you at your next meeting, January 2nd, to set the process in motion to change that setback to 250 feet, which I believe is what it was originally, not from the property line, but from the dwelling to the outer edge of the facility. Thank you.
Next is Cody Light.
I'm Cody Light. I'm from Gaston. I would like to thank you three for, I guess, finally passing an ordinance, but we're gonna eventually need to make some major changes. You guys are gonna see homeowners' property values go down. We're gonna have drainage issues, and we had the last two people wanna talk about property rights. Sue, you wanna move the setback to 250 feet. Would you let me build a 500-head cattle barn 200 feet from your property line?
Mr. Light,
No, you would not.
You address us.
Okay. Would you let me build okay, Mr. Henry, would you let me build a cattle barn 250 feet from your property line? No, you would not. This goes, okay, a CAFO setback is 1,320 feet, but yet a cattle barn would take up what, maybe 200 by 500 feet? We're talking acres and acres of solar panels. It's going to drastically change the agriculture economy, our rural heritage, and you're completely changing an industry with solar. I'm a first-generation farmer. Most of you have no clue how hard it has been for me to start from nothing. With this, now we open up Delaware County to being bought by corporate entities and corporate companies like Invenergy, like the project in Albany. Now we're making it that much harder for the next generation farmers to get started. They want to talk about, we're going to graze sheep under these. Really? Do you realize it takes 8 to 10 sheep per acre is what it would take to graze those? You're talking 1,000-acre project, and you're going to graze sheep under these projects? Coming from the people who don't want CAFOs? That's a CAFO, because you can't have those sheep out there in the middle of the winter. There's nothing for them to eat. You know, this is gonna suck. I moved once to get away from being surrounded by solar, and I've worked very hard to build what little bit of acreage I have. I really wish you guys would have done a better ordinance to protect the next generation of young farmers. Thank you.
Next is Robert Coaster.
My name is Robert Kester. I live at 2709 West Burnell Drive in Muncie. I've lived there for about 40 years, a little over. The Indiana Office of Energy Development issued a call to counties around the state to get ready for the future. Get yourself established to be declared or certified as a commercial solar energy ready community. They use IC 8-1-42-8 to outline how counties could qualify for this designation. And if counties are qualified, certified, they then become eligible starting next month or next spring to receive considerable funding through the state to help with implementation of solar installations. They issued guidelines on how to go about doing this, and it included the 250-foot setback, not the 500-foot setback. And the setback they recommended was line of sight from the house that would be affected to the edge of the panels, not from the property edge to the edge of the panels. They also issued guidelines on ground cover and vegetation, fencing, cabling, glare minimization, signal interference, sound limitations, and damage to drainage infrastructure. This is the responsibility of the company that would come in and place the solar panels. All damages to waterways, drainage ditches, field tiles, or other drainage-related infrastructure caused by the project must be fully repaired or replaced so as not to impede the flow of water. All repairs must be timely and subject to all applicable regulations. The current ordinance that you've adopted says nothing about that. The current ordinance that you adopted says nothing about the fact that they recommend that any solar installation be screened visually so that there's planting around its edge, and they include decommissioning and site restoration. A very thorough 2-page description of how to go about doing this. And at the moment, we, Delaware County, are not going to qualify as a solar ready county, and we're not going to be made available to given access to the funding that's going to come from the state. And as Cheryl and Sue indicated, editing and straightening out things is necessary in the flow of government. We do it all the time in other instances. And I would strongly encourage you to reconsider the totality of the recommendations that were made by the state under Indiana law and adopt the recommendations as they were laid out and not live with the incomplete, confused ordinance that we have now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next is Cheryl Dawson.
Good morning. And I do appreciate everyone's work on this. Cheryl Dawson, State Road 28, north of Muncie. I do appreciate, I know this is stressful for everyone. I've felt really stressed the last few weeks. I think the 500-foot setback is needed the way it's currently written, just to protect the non-participating landowners from property loss value. But what I really want to speak on are drainage issues. My neighbor who wants to put panels on his field adjacent to me, there are county tiles, multiple tiles that then merge and drain into my field and then into an open ditch. And all along this open ditch, it's all classified as a flood zone. So I'm really fearful, and that's creating my stress, is that it's going to create drainage problems. And I'd rather nip it in the bud before the solar panels are installed, and then we have problems and then I'm having to take legal action for correction. I'd rather stop it now. And I feel like they should not go on fields that have a history of drainage problem, or if there are county tiles that are shared, mutually shared in multiple fields. And I think there should be setbacks from waterways, because there are some contaminants in the panels that if they were damaged, and if there was water runoff or soil erosion, it could present problems within the waterways. So it's kind of a grouping of drainage issues that need to be addressed. And the solar ordinance refers to the county drainage ordinance to dictate the drainage issues, and yet Ms. Pruitt did provide a link to me for the current drainage ordinance, and she admitted to me in her email that it needs to be updated. It was last updated in 1993, and of course it doesn't address anything about solar, so maybe we need to address it in the solar ordinance, or else the drainage ordinance needs to address the solar. But I'm just really concerned about the shared county tiles and the open waterways. Thank you very much.
Next is Katie Williams.
This is tall. Can you hear me okay? I'm Katie Williams. I'm at 5004 West Churchill Court in Muncie. You all and we all have heard a lot of different arguments. One of the things I haven't heard addressed, though, is that what all of this difficulty is about is change. Change is hard often. And what we have is the proponents of utility scale solar don't want things to change. And I understand that. Change is difficult. The proponents of utility scale solar know that change is not only coming, but it's already happening. And what we have is a chance to direct some of that change. We can't stop it. It's coming. It's already in the works. But we can make choices about what kind of changes do we have and what do we do about them. So I know that you don't need to hear more about the arguments that climate change is happening. It is a scientific fact. And what I would like to say is that there are a lot of ways that we can help mitigate the changes that are coming. Solar is a major aspect of that. And so we have an obligation, excuse me, we have an obligation to participate in mitigating that change. One thing I hadn't planned to say, but I keep hearing the setbacks compared to CAFO setbacks. The reason CAFO setbacks are so large is because CAFOs have an effect on water quality and soil quality and air quality. Solar panels do not. I understand that people don't like the looks of them. People probably didn't like the looks of telephone poles and wires when they first started. They become part of the landscape, and in this case, a necessary part of the landscape. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Linda Hanson.
Good morning. I'm Linda Hanson, spokesperson for the League of Women Voters, Muncie, Delaware County. I'm also the state president for the League of Women Voters. And I would like to echo what Cheryl has said about the economic impact of our current solar ordinance. I'm glad that we have one in place, but I do think that it needs to be re-examined, and I would like to ask that you put it on your January 2nd meeting agenda. What I would like to see is a comparison of the ordinance to the state's solar energy ready community standards. And because there are funds attached to that as well, I would like to see us re-examine our ordinance and make it conform to that. Purdue did a study after the 2022 legislation to compare county zoning ordinances for commercial solar with the solar energy ready community standards. And Delaware County at that point met 3 of those standards with our ordinance, 3 of the 11. Drainage repair was one because of the reference to our drainage ordinance. However, I would agree with Cheryl, it needs to be re-examined. But signal interference and glare minimization were the only other 2 that were listed. I think it behooves us to make a comparison of the current ordinance and to change what doesn't conform. I'd like to see it on the January 2nd agenda. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, that's all the, has signed up. You have something, Sarah?
You want to explain to him that Sherry asked that, because I know he's standing there in the doorway.
Oh, is that, yes, yes.
And
He came a little,
and
you had already
asked-
picked,
You asked that they come back in January. And,
yes. But he could come and we could explain that,
Yeah, and that's fine, I just,
yeah,
the reason why he's not on here is because you asked for them to come back in January and do
Yeah.
that, so.
you could do a little shout out now about your program, 3 minutes.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that, first of all. Stephen Hargrave, I'm the founder of Real Black Excellence. I'm not really, I mean, I appreciate the opportunity. I just wasn't just overly familiar with the process. And so when I sent the email and then I got a response back, so my apologies.
Yeah.
I would much rather, if it please you, come back as opposed to a little shout out because
That'd be great.
it's quite a bit more than
Well,
a little shout out.
I knew you had a deadline on your monies.
I do, yes ma'am. So
Give us the date of your,
the date of the event is February 16th.
okay,
That's correct.
and your telephone number that if
Yes,
somebody
I'm
wants.
Stephen Hargrave. You can just, I kind of hate to give out my whole telephone.
Well, do you have,
Let
do you
me,
have an
let me
email?
slide an email to you. I'm
your-
so sorry.
How about your
Are you
address?
Sarah? Oh, Sarah,
About-
nice to meet you.
How about your address to send donations?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can send donations to 2905 North Wheeling Avenue. So absolutely. But yes, ma'am, we're just, there's some things that I'm not conversant in. My area of expertise is not in the political realm. I actually work.
Neither am I, but
I actually work as more of like a community activist. But there are some things that I feel like the community commission board, the county commissioner board, does need to know. And so if I could come back, if there's a better time to schedule that.
Email Sarah and get a date, to come back next month.
Absolutely.
And we'll
Yes, sir.
We'll listen in.
Thank you so much for recognizing me. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, entertain a motion to recess.
So moved. Before you do that, there's one little thing that needs to be addressed. You tabled a resolution concerning fobs for access to the public defenders and others at the courthouse. I think the judges have now resolved that issue with the public defenders. So it may be appropriate to remove that from the table and then just cancel it, or you can make a motion to permanently table it so it can't come up again. So however you guys want to do that.
I'll just make a motion we permanently table it.
second.
Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Reagan?
Yes.
Mr. Henry?
Yes.
Okay, now you can recess.
Now I'll make a motion to recess.
And see you next year.
The commissioners would like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and, have a happy holiday and enjoy your family.
Yep.
Ed, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. King?
Yes.
Ms. Reagan?
Yes.
Ms. Henry?
Yes. Recess.